Basketball fans, welcome to the Nderitu Basketball YouTube channel, your one-stop shop for everything about the NBA. Draymond Green, a prominent voice for the Golden State Warriors, has voiced strong disapproval on the NBA's new collective bargaining agreement, which began in 2023. His main grievance centers on the introduction of the second apron, a stricter luxury tax threshold that he claims has effectively ruined NBA free agency as it once was. So NBA free agency ruined. So Draymond Green argues that the new CBA, particularly the second apron, a more restrictive hard cap for team spending, has led to a dull NBA free agency period devoid of any of the usual excitement. He states that it never really started this year. And Draymond Green is rightfully so. He's frustrated because teams are now having much more flexibility. I know at the second apron you get hard capped, but his argument is valid. And also there's the lack of business acumen. He came out and said he expressed frustration and bafflement that many players lack the understanding of the NBA's business aspects and how the new rules impact their careers, leading them to overplay the market and mismanage their trajectories. So there's also that. There are a lot of young players who are getting good contracts and they don't even know what to do with them. And also, Draymond Green, he wished to be NBPA president. So Green believes that with his unique perspective as a player with close ties to GMs and owners, and having been introduced to the business at a young age, he should have been the Players Association president to better guide the players and prevent the current situation. So he came out and said that, he declared that, but right now as we speak, Fred Van Vliet, he's the new NBPA president. And also the targeting of high spending teams. So Draymond Green explicitly stated that the new rules were designed to curb the spending of teams like the Warriors, who previously leveraged enormous luxury tax payments to build and maintain their roster. Then there's also the impact of dynasties. Draymond Green reiterates his prior claim that the Warriors will be the last NBA dynasty because the second apron now forces front offices to dismantle successful high-spending teams to avoid severe penalties. He highlights that even the 2025 NBA champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder, will soon face similar pressures moving forward. And it's something that I've seen. The NBA, the parity that is there exists because of these rules when it comes to managing player salaries. With the massive, luxurious extensions we are seeing players signing, at some point in time, the league and the salary cap will come back to bite them hard and they'll be forced to break their core. That's the reason as to why we saw Klay Thompson leave. We've seen the majority of the the players that made the Warriors team that was a dynasty depart the Warriors. And it's a sad situation because in the dynasty era under David Stern, we saw only 8 champions. In this parity era under Adam Silver with the new CBA and all these rules, no dynasties will be formed anytime soon. Then also there's the criticism for NBPA leadership. So Draymond Green's comments are an implicit critique of the NBPA leadership, specifically mentioning former President CJ McCollum in the context of overseeing the CBA negotiations, suggesting that they did not adequately protect players' interests regarding these new financial restrictions. So Draymond Green is one of the most uh, articulate players and also the most vocal in the league. I know he comes up with his fair share of criticisms of the league and also his antics on the court, but he makes sense in this one. And I feel like the players and the teams are not going to feel the full effects of these deals because sometimes players who lead the NBPA are not aware of these financial implications, and sometimes the teams and the executives can go ahead and exploit it. And there also has to be a checks and balances, especially when it comes to dealing with financials. So the Golden State Warriors veteran forward Draymond Green is criticizing the NBA's new collective bargaining agreement, asserting that that second apron has ruined free agency by stifling player movement and team building. And you have seen that with the unsustainability and the lack of consistency when it comes to teams. and he expressed deep frustration over the NBA players' uh, perceived lack of understanding of the league's business intricacies, and laments that he wasn't the NBPA president. And I believe he could have changed a few things. And also, he underscored that these punitive financial rules aimed at curbing spending by high luxury tax teams will prevent future dynasties, similar to what we've seen with the Golden State Warriors. Golden State were the new era NBA dynasty, but because of these high luxury tax uh, financial rules, you could see that these teams that are deep in the luxury tax, they are being forced to broken up, or just die a natural death, similar to what we've seen in the Warriors. And even the newly crowned champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder, will experience this because of the lavish contracts that they are signing, and it's going to hamper and break that core of group of guys, and no dynasties are going to go ahead and form. So these strong statements being made by Draymond Green reflect a profound unhappiness with the new CBA and the impact on player opportunities and team construction, implicitly challenging the effectiveness of the leadership in the NBPA. And this is what Fred VanVleet is going to experience, and he's going to be that person who's going to make sure that the NBA players are taken care of, especially the new CBA, and what changes they can suggest to the NBA execs, the league offices moving forward. So, Draymond Green is a player that personally I don't like him that much because he played for those Warriors teams that really dominated my LeBron James led Cavaliers. And, it was a very hard watch. I can't even watch those finals till this day. But he has a very valid point in this one. And I believe if he was the president, things would have been moving on in a very, very systematic and different way. But it is what it is. So do drop me your comments down in the comment section down below on what you think about this whole situation with Draymond Green criticizing the NBA and the new CBA. And like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, get notified, because I'm going to be coming out with content of this nature. And I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.